Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and it's time for another video. Here I am, once again. But first, tea. So, I'm here to talk about Bionicle G2 again. I know some of y'all are probably sick of me talking trash on some of the sets and the story, and Lego for the decisions they decide to make. Well, back in 2015, these were unleashed. The Toa Masters, they were great sets. They really were. They had they brought back gear functions. The protectors were great Matoran stand-in. All of the sets were great parts packs. And we got some cool masks to use and parts to use in our own mocks. Also in 2015, a horde of these was unleashed. Skull Spiders. This actually came with that version of Golly right there. These are 5 pieces. 6 if you count the little scorpion ones. And they're kind of cute little masks that you can have your Toa wear and have these on them. Kind of reminds me of the Predators, the yacht jaws from the Predator franchise with these. Has anybody ever tried this? Right. Okay, that does look kind of ridiculous, but hey, the Skull Spiders were an interesting little addition to the 2015 story. They were commanded by, well, we'll get to that, but they came in 3 different colors. Obviously, the legs being the same color across the board, as gunmetal. These are kind of a new take on the claw thing that you saw in Hero Factory sets. And the skull looks kind of cool, I guess. Commanding these little cretins, though, was none other than the cretin himself, the Lord of Skull Spiders. This guy is forgettable as all hell. It's not a good villain at all. It's not even a villain. It's just like a big old spider Rahi thing that only had 6 fucking legs. What the hell? And it also had a Technic function. This is not a Technic set, though. This is not a Technic build. Now you may say, well, there's Technic parts in it. Well, yeah, and there's the knobs, which are acting as the gears, and you have a rubber band, which does that. But it's not a Technic build. Technic sets do better than this. Bionicle Technic sets, like the Rahi from 2001, 2002, and onward, did better than this. This, obviously the rubber band is wearing out. With this, what is that? It looks like he's grabbing a boob. Or he's grabbing you by the throat. Yeah, or he's grabbing its prey. This, at first, was cool. But over time, it got repetitive, it got annoying, it got kind of, lame and boring. I do this, and it gets boring after after like 10 strokes of the trigger, pulls of the trigger. I don't know how many pulls that was, but hey, at least we got some cool parts from it. These translucent, transparent, orangish, reddish parts are nice to have. The exclusive piece is this spider face on the dude, which looks kind of lame, honestly. I'm not a fan of this design. The graphic design is kind of not alright. He does have fangs for a jaw that are just Exoforce arms. And those are nice to have, obviously. all these little white barbs in the teeth, and you know, those are nice to have as well. But there's unsightly gaps here, 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 here. Here, his thorax, or whatever the hell you want. He's got a little stopper right here, which stops from over pulling the trigger on his butt. So this is not a real spider, obviously not. It doesn't even remotely resemble a spider or a tarantula or anything that shoots a web out of its ass. This is a problem. This seems to be like one of those like rush jobs of sets, you know, kind of like Skull Scorpio was later in the year. But this one was definitely just kind of like, if you look at it as the function is going, this travels in a certain way. And even that doesn't look good at all. This is a terrible set, honestly. I mean, yeah, the mechanism works. And some people probably defend Lord of Skull Spiders. And, well, they're wrong. This is not that good of a set, to be honest. Now, I will admit there's a great use of parts here. There's a great use of a decent function, if not mediocre. But the knobs are yellow, and that doesn't go well with the color scheme of the set. Color scheme is obviously, well, with the little white bits added on as accents. You got black, dark gray, translucent, transparent red, whatever you want to call it, orange red. You got the yellow things. Those just stand out like a sore thumb, like really. And the rubber band is white, which we can forgive because there was other white bits here and there. And obviously the blue pins are unsightly too. And also there's regular red because that's part of the Technic function. Who was this set designed for? Kids who want to do this for hours to, I don't know, bug their parents, bug their siblings, get bored of it themselves and then toss it away or take it apart and build their own mocks. This is not a successful set. The character itself is forgettable and not well thought of, to be honest. If you want a Lord of Skull Spiders, there is a mock out there that kind of redid this whole thing. Yes, it still had 6 legs, but they were actually fully posable. They had actual legs and actual torso, but also kind of took reference from the centaur thing. You know, it had an actual upper body, lower and upper body, had a head, which was, you know, the mask was the golden mask of skull spiders, which came with this set. And it also had arms with fists, and had armor, and had this faceplate as chest armor. That was a pretty cool mock, actually. He didn't have like a staff or something, but that was a pretty cool reconfiguration or redoing of this forgettable piece of history. I almost feel bad for Lord of Skull Spiders here because of how forgettable and how just not well designed he is. I mean, there are definitely a lot of flaws here. I mean, if you look from the front, obviously, head on from the front is where it looks the best because you can see all the armor, you can see the little barbs, you can see, well, there's still a ball joint there that's unsightly, but if you look from the back, at his butt, you can definitely tell. What the hell? Obviously, if you look in all other directions, there's clearly a I mean, creativity is present here, but they definitely sacrificed form over function. Yeah, this is a function over form type of thing, actually. This is a prime example of, you know, designers ham-fisting a function into a set and passing it off for $15. This is not exciting. This is not exciting at all of a function. It's boring. It kind of sucks, actually. I mean, yeah, at first, back in 2015, it was cool. He would grab onto his a protector that would get caught in its web, and then spun a cocoon, turn them into a cocoon, encase them in a cocoon, and probably infect them. This is definitely a fail, but it's not the worst Bionicle set to ever come out in G2's run. Okay, it's the third worst. The second is Qatar, and we'll talk about him in another time. The first worst is obviously Scorpio. Skull Scorpio blows, but has some good parts that could be used for mocks. This, I mean, there's stuff we've had before, like these shells, these barbs, these all these Technic bits, except for the recolors. All the recolors, nice to have. But for the most part, this is just kind of an experiment that didn't go over well. I mean, yeah, people have expanded upon this, and this one's fairly dusty. That's why I'm wiping it here and there. This is definitely not that good of a set. It's definitely kind of one of those sets that you build once, play around with for a while, put it on a shelf to bask in its glory, at least up front, like this, and then take apart and use for other mocks. This definitely failed, in my opinion, because this is just not a good design. It's not that fun, it's boring, it's lame, and it sucks. Now, is it better or worse than Skull Scorpio? I mean, I could see it being better than Skull Scorpio in a way, at least by the slightest margin. But overall, it's kind of up there with Skull Scorpio being really terrible and crap. I mean, this is not what people think of when they want to see a Bionicle spider cretin. They want to see like the Phycow spider, or even the Phycow Nui. Where was that in Legend of Mata Nui? Obviously, people have tried to replicate that build by building it themselves. And hey, that's a better, more classic, I guess, design than this. And again, the rubber band is weakened, so it's had 9 years to weaken, so there you go. And there's definitely an unsightly and unsightedness about this. There's definitely open ball joints. There's 3 of them. Now, obviously, you can fill in the gaps and make it better, but clearly those gaps were there in order to provide, the full function. I don't like it, though. I don't like this function. I don't hate it. I welcome it as as sort of a test function, as sort of, throw shit at the wall, see what sticks type of thing. But at the end of the day, I don't like it. It's boring. It blows. It's not as refined as well, of course, as the 2001 Rahi. There was some refinement there. There was some fun to be had there. This is not fun. Is this fun to you? Really, is it fun to you? I think not. I'm definitely going to be taking this apart, mostly because I want to try my hand at a Lord of Skull spiders, but obviously I'm not going to try and build the one I saw a picture of a while ago. That was pretty fucking cool. But I'm going to try to build an actual, spidery thing with actual posable legs. I mean, this is the most amount of posability you're going to get right there. It sucks. It really does. This sucks. Function over form. More. Yeah. I'm going to try to do what I can to breathe some life into this character, into this set. Obviously, the character I'm going to, obviously forego the entire character, you know, obviously, and ignore the Lord of Skull Spiders thing, and just make it a generic Rahi beast, you know, for Toa to obviously take on and fight. And yeah, that would be interesting. Probably incorporate it into my retelling of Bionicle, at least to some extent. This ball joint right here kind of aggravates me too. It's like, what's that supposed to be? Is that where he shoots the web from? Yeah. And what is this lever supposed to be? I know it's a trigger, but at the same time, what is it supposed to be? Is that his penis? Is this his dick? Is this his spider slinging cock? Or what the fuck is that? I mean, what the hell? The set is kind of a mess, but in some ways, it is respectable to some extent. Okay, maybe not. At least they tried, I guess. They tried to make a competent pseudo-technic build. But it's not a technic build. I mean, it still has semblances of, you know, ball joints here and there, and, you know, it's got CCBS parts. But it's not a real Technic build. Real Technic, again, I'd have to point to the 2001 Bionicle Rahi. So from G1, those are better Technic builds than this. Even the Nui Jaga, look at that. The Nui Jaga from 2001 has a great function, and it has a fantastic form as well. I mean, yeah, it has a grip, a pistol grip on its undercarriage, but hey, you could see that as a wiener as well. So, I don't know, man. The Lord of Skull Spiders, he isn't menacing at all. If anything, he's kind of generic and boring and lame. And some people thought the Skull villains were generic, boring, and lame. And hey, to each their own, you know. But this is worse than the Skull villains. I feel like the Skull villains were actually... first of all, they had more useful parts, obviously. They had, you know, better proportions and a lot of great parts, great weapons. Masks, obviously, are fun, too. You can definitely, you know, do something more with those than you can with this. All you can do with this is this. That's bullshit. That really is. Lord of Skull Spiders, I'm going to be glad to take you apart and rebuild you into my vision of a Lord of Skull Spiders. And it's going to be monstrous. It's going to be ghastly. It's going to be deadly. It's going to be fun. This, as it is not fun. It's bullshit is what it is. It's crap. What do you think of the Lord of Skull Spiders? Down in the comment section below, post your thoughts. If you like the Lord of Skull Spiders and are proud to defend it, well, all I can say is go right ahead. Explain to me why you feel that the Lord of Skull Spiders is a competent and fun set, because I don't see it. I really don't. I do enjoy having the parts, at least, so there is that. But the set itself, to have it sitting there displayed on my record player for some reason, it's just not worth it. It was worth the 15 bucks at the time, but hey. Well, that's all I have for y'all for this video. Stay tuned for a couple of reviews I have coming up. So stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks there. Have a good fucking day, and peace.